Another day, another Trump executive order. It's called the Keep Men Out of Women's Sports. That's what the order is called. It bans transgender women from female sports. Trump says it restores fairness and that the war on women's sports is over. Since returning to office, the US president has moved swiftly to dismantle transgender rights. So this new order is not different. But it has reignited debates, especially on athletic integrity and transgender rights. Supporters say this protects women in sports, but critics believe it fuels discrimination. Yet the bigger question remains, if bans are not the answer, what is? Our next report explores.
Under the Trump administration, we will defend the proud tradition of female athletes, and we will not allow men to beat up, injure, and cheat our women and our girls. From now on, women's sports will be only for women. It's so ridiculous.
With that, Donald Trump has banned transgender women from female sports. The order takes effect immediately. It applies to high schools, universities, and grassroots sports. Schools allowing trans athletes could face penalties. Violators may even lose federal funding. Now, this order is in line with Trump's previous decisions. Since coming to power, he's dismantled transgender rights. From restricting gender markers on passports to defunding gender-affirming care, Trump's policy is simple. There's only two genders in the United States, that's man and woman.
So in recent years, the radical left has waged an all-out campaign to erase the very concept of biological sex and replace it with a militant transgender ideology. You've heard a little bit about this, haven't you, huh? Just a little bit? Does anybody agree with them?
No. Now, a number of sporting governing bodies have made similar moves, banning trans women from female sports. But those usually have a caveat. It's only if the trans women have gone through male puberty. Advocates supporting Trump say biological differences between men and women provide a distinct advantage, especially to athletes who underwent male puberty. Studies cite that testosterone, bone density, and muscle mass give trans women a competitive advantage. On the other side, LGBTQ+ groups argue that Trump's order is not about fairness, but about exclusion and political maneuvering. According to an AP survey, more than half the voters said support for trans rights has gone too far. So this is a political move. For trans athletes, participation in sports is about more than competition. It's about identity, community, and equal opportunity. Less than 1% of the US population over the age of 13 is transgender. An even smaller fraction participates in organized sports. That makes the argument that trans women will take over female sports flawed. Critics also fear the policy could be a slippery slope, including invasive regulations and discrimination against all female athletes, not just trans women. So Trump's ban does not provide a solution. It merely removes transgender athletes from one category without offering them an alternative. If trans women cannot compete in female sports, where do they go? Forcing them into male divisions is neither fair nor practical. Many trans athletes undergo hormone therapy that significantly reduces their testosterone levels. So a blanket ban isn't the answer. The real challenge is finding a way to accommodate all athletes in a way that respects their identity while maintaining the integrity of the competition. Until then, transgender athletes remain in limbo, banned from one category, unwelcome in another, and searching for a place to belong.
We're calling the show Vantage. We hope you like what we put together for you. Touted as the minimum defense from that video. India's neighbors were the first to send the special edition of Vantage live from the White House throughout the week. Hindu Mandir we're on our way to Tel Aviv. Pretty measure, but it's also the perfect way to drive.
I don't think that
Prime Minister of Bhutan, Sherin Tagwe. Welcome to
60% of the world's
office. Prime Minister Modi did the iron.
We were actually
How are you doing? How do you like? It's been 1 year since that meeting. Iron bars separate you from the outside. Out the vote efforts. Trump had, it says, and at $4.3 trillion. 4.3 300 billion by 2030. That's what we need to tackle climate change.